We always have to walk on eggshells around you. Dog ears. Can I even breathe? Well, just leave the room. Oh, it doesn't bother you when you do it. Well, sorry if I'm trying to live my life. I wanted to make this video for a long time because as a sufferer myself, it's very hard to explain to my friends and family, people around me, what I have to go through and why I'm asking them, hey, can you please not make that noise? And also, can you stop that movement? Because also, misophonia, attached to that, it can also come with other syndromes as well that come with it, like a combo package. For me, it's selective, and also visually, it's selective as well. Misophonia is literally the hatred of sound. It's selective sounds, and it also can come with other side effects such as sensitivity to certain smells or to certain visuals, which in my case I have, which is also called misokinesia, where certain movements can actually give me the same triggers as well as sounds. It can put you in a state of fight or flight, where if you hear a certain sound or you see a certain visual, you start feeling like you're having a panic attack, like you can't take your eyes off it, like it's drawing you to watch and it's like mocking you. And it puts you in a fight or flight response where you want to run away from it, you want to either destroy it, you can lash out, be uncontrollably angry, put you in a state of depression, which in this case it also can lead you to suicidal thoughts and a state of mind where you don't want to be here anymore because it's that bad. Growing up, we were financially stable, we had a loving family, so there wasn't really anything that would cause this to happen. Well, first of all, misophonia is not contagious. It is not a disease. You can't spread it. It just happens, and it's so new to even doctors. They don't even know how it starts. Because I've had somebody ask me, did a trauma in your life trigger this? And I lived in a household with loving family, and I can't remember anything really bad happening other than stating the obvious. So nothing could have triggered this, so I'm really not sure, and I don't think trauma can cause this. But growing up, I used to have really bad stomach aches, where it was just to the point where I would spend TMI in the bathroom for hours. And me being homeschooled, it gives me a good advantage that I won't skip school and stuff, because being at home, it allows me to take the opportunity to, hey, if I'm sick, if I'm hurting and stuff, I can do my school later and stuff because we're not on a time schedule. That's one of the good things of being homeschooled. But I barely was studying, I was barely in my school because I was in so much pain and seeing multiple doctors pretty much to see why I was in so much pain. I had to take a hospital appointment, I had doctor appointments, pretty much everything you could think of. I didn't know what was going on, but I found this one doctor and he gave me a really specific medicine, and it cured my stomach, and I am to this day very grateful because I am not in pain anymore. I literally can go to school, I can literally do everything I wanted to do. It started about when I was, I want to say 8, and I had stomach issues. I had the stomach issues stop maybe when I was about 13, but as soon as I started realizing my stomach pains were gone, all of my focus and all of my senses were not in my stomach anymore. It's like it switched to my mind, or my ears in this case, and that's when my misophonia started developing, I guess. But back then, I didn't know it was called misophonia. So, for some reason, I started getting really angry about some simple little things. Me being homeschooled, I started noticing when Mom was writing on the whiteboard, the marker writing, the sound of it hitting the board was very, very obnoxious. And I'm like, Mom, can you stop writing? But she's a teacher. You can't tell her to stop teaching, So I was literally plugging my ears and I was watching her write. But even watching the pen, knowing what sound it was making, even if I couldn't hear it, it got me so angry. And my my Miso, which is selective visual triggers as well. My sisters were doing their homework or working right next to me at the same table, and if they would tap their fingers on the table, or even seeing the pencil writing, or the computer, when I see their finger going on the mouse, clicking or typing, the visuals with the hands, let alone the sounds of the lead on the pencil, it was just too much. I remember Mom, she even cut cardboard balls and placed it around me and each other. Of course, because we were like roughhousing and stuff, we wouldn't focus on school. But I think that was mainly the reason why, to block out the visuals. I could still hear the sounds, but at least the visual break was very relieving. But I had no idea what the heck was happening. Why were these visuals hurting me? Why were these sounds hurting me? And I noticed throughout my daily schedule, doing whatever from morning to dawn, every little thing seemed so much more sensitive. Like, things seemed louder, things seemed more noticeable. Like, you can walk into a house and, do whatever. When I walk into a house, I immediately notice, like, the clocks over there ticking, even though nobody could hear it. I could notice that tap, dripping if the sink is leaky. I can hear somebody writing, like, from the other room. I remember when I was in the living room, and then you had to pass the kitchen, and you had to pass the family room, I can literally hear my father's typing, and he's clicking on his computer. And I'm like, I'm from the other room. This is not normal. It's not even a cool superpower, It's hurting me, and I start raging and getting angry and lashing out at my family, and it's not their fault. They're living their daily lives as you should be. It's me, I'm like, I shouldn't be getting mad at this. What the heck's going wrong with me? I remember so many fights, so many angry moments of my life. I remember getting so angry and so confused of what's happening that we were in the garage and Mom put me on an exercise bike, and she says, exercise, get all that energy out, because I was literally telling her, I want to get away from the house, I want to run away, I want to leave. I think that's where the fight or flight comes in. Flight, I want to leave, I want to get out of here, I want to run and I want to keep running, I want to pull the full-on Forrest Gump moment, I just want to run and get away from the sounds and the visuals. It was literally a pain, to get up every morning knowing there's sounds everywhere. It's an unescapable labyrinth of sounds and visuals. I feel like it took most of my teen years, because I have a really kind family, and I am very grateful for what they've put up with for so many years and to today, because even they didn't understand what was happening, which means they were getting frustrated and they were getting angry at me, and I was getting angry at them, and we butt heads almost every single day. And I know it's not their fault. They're living their lives as they should be, and I shouldn't be the one stopping them. I should be, we went to therapists, we went to chiropractors, we went to doctors, to doctor. I can't even tell you how many doctors. I've seen at least 2 therapists. Physical therapy, nothing's helped. In fact, when I went to the chiropractor, he wanted to know, he wanted to test the sides of my brain or something to see what was up. So I remember he was putting me through exercises, doing an alphabet, drawing the alphabet with my hand or something like that. And in the background, he made Mom do trigger noises to see how I would react doing these exercises at the same time. And I wanted to scream, I wanted to run out there, I wanted to rip my hair out or something. Why would you trigger me on purpose? It's like torturing somebody, It's like literally torturing somebody, and I can't do anything about it. Now I love my chiropractor. He's a really close friend, and I love my mom. I love everybody. But when you're triggering me on purpose, can you imagine how it feels? It's literally putting me in a depressive, suicidal state where I literally don't want to be here anymore. And if I know you're trying to do it to help me, to see what's going on, but it's literally a pain, to live with. I want to crawl about misophonia, and I say it's literally hatred of sound, I've had a friend say, oh yeah, I totally get it. I hate when my dad is chewing chips and it's so annoying. No, that's just an annoyance. It's literally putting me in a depressive state where I don't want to be here anymore. That's just an annoyance, you know? It's annoying. Yeah, we get it. We're all annoyed. This is way different. Explaining misophonia to my friends and family is very hard because they don't believe me. They just think it's annoying. It's like, oh yeah, I'm annoyed with that too. I totally get it. And, you know, I don't blame them. It's really hard to understand, and I get it. But I remember, no, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying, wow, you're a jerk for doing this. No, you know, you don't understand, and I get it. So I know you didn't do this on purpose. So I'm still friends with you. I still love you, but I'm just using these stories as a reference. So I'm not going to use any names. But I remember we were at church, and in my classroom we had a guy. He liked to click pens. Everybody likes clicking pens to try to pass the time or something. So they don't even notice they're doing it in the first place too. But he's clicking the pen and stuff, and I'm like, hey man, do you mind stop clicking the pen, because it's kind of annoying. And I say annoying because I don't want to go through the whole entire explanation, which I really should have, but we're in the middle of a lesson and I need like a whole entire hour to explain what it does. But he didn't understand why I was asking him to stop clicking the pen, so he literally clicked it in front of me like this, you know, just to be funny or something. And do you know what that does to me? For somebody who you grew up with, we're like really close friends, we grew up together since we were kids. For them to do something very hurtful on purpose, it was like a family member or something backstabbing you after you've been with them for so many years, you know? I know he didn't do it on purpose, you know, and it's fine, but for you to do it on purpose after I just asked you to stop, that's a no-no. I remember another friend, I said, hey, can you stop clicking the pen and stuff? Probably to the same person, and the guy looked over and to his buddy, and he says, she's annoyed with the pen clicking and stuff. So he literally grabs a pen, gets up, goes over, thinks he's being funny, clicks it repeatedly in my ear, and he says, if you ask me nicely, I'm going to stop. I'm like, how dare you, you know? And I really wish I could have said that, but instead I literally left the room, and I had to literally stop myself from being triggered, because he wasn't just a friend, he was a really close person to me at the time, and for him to do that, that literally almost killed me, because when you do stuff like that on purpose, when I'm already in a ticked off, state, I'm literally going to the bathroom, hyperventilating, hugging my knees, literally in the corner. I don't care if it's a dirty bathroom. I'm on the floor, literally hugging myself. And I'm hyperventilating so much to the point where I can barely breathe. And I plug my ears at the same time. But when you're in a misophonia state, you literally feel like it's repeating over and over and over in your head. Like, say I get a pen clipped in my ear and stuff. I leave the room and I'm in that state, but I can still hear it repeating the same loud noise. And I'm like literally covering my ears, and I'm like, make it stop. And it's, it's a very hard topic to talk about, and I don't really talk about it in depth with a lot of people, even if they're close to me. So that's one of the reasons why I'm making this video, because I really want to get this all out, and I just need to get my story out. I need to share my experience, because I know a lot of people out there are going through the same thing. And back then, I did not know what misophonia was. I knew there was something wrong with me because this shouldn't be normal. It's not some superpower and you can use it for your advantage. There was no advantage I can find. There's nothing useful about this. There's nothing useful of being in a state where you literally want to kill yourself. Now I know it sounds like I'm being dramatic where I literally say I want to kill myself, but it's gotten to the point where when I didn't know what misophonia was, when I was lashing out at my family, yelling at them, seeing the state I was putting them in because they were literally crying and angry and confused, I was literally begging God to give me my stomach ache back because I would rather have stomach pain to the point where I'm gone for hours in the restroom than lashing out at my family, because at least when I'm in the restroom, I'm not thinking on trying to kill myself. I'm not thinking on how much pain I'm putting my family through because I'm not around them to get them angry, to get them sad, because I'd rather be alone, suffering with my stomach than putting them in that state because of me. I feel like a monster. I felt like I was alone in the world. I don't remember how old I was when I found out this was a thing. I remember Mom sitting me down on the couch and she said, "This thing you have, I really think you have this because it's like the same description. It's called misophonia." When I heard that it was an actual thing, I wanted to, go and smell the roses. I want to celebrate. I was so happy because there's nothing wrong with me. This is an actual thing. And if somebody knows what it's called and that it exists, then they're that much closer to trying to fix it. At the same time as being happy that this was a thing, I was also sad and crying because to know there's people out there going through the same thing that I'm going through, and knowing that they probably don't know the name either before they find out, they're lost, they're alone, they feel like they're a monster, like they shouldn't be here anymore. And I wanted to find every single one of them, give them a hug, say it's okay, that you're not alone, that I'm just like you. As the number of misophones, which people who suffer are called, is growing, they're having groups and gatherings at certain places where they have speakers, where they have people share their story, just talk and meet people just like them. I've never been to one of them and I really want to go, but money. I have found people online just like me, and we've talked, we've said, yeah, this is how I fix my triggers and stuff, you should try it. We help each other, we talk about, yeah, I so get it, because we understand each other. We're not like, oh yeah, that annoys me too and stuff. No, I can actually talk to people who actually have the same condition and know what to say, know what I'm going through, and know what to suggest to help me. I was literally reading some stories that people wrote, and there was this one girl that I read that she was at public school, and I'm so thankful that I didn't get to go through this because I was homeschooled. But she was public school, and she told the readers that theyve literally chased her to the bus doing sounds on purpose to annoy her. I can't tell you how much I cried after I read that, because people can be so cruel and so disgusting, and for people to do that, I literally wanted to, teleport or time travel to that time, find that girl, and literally stand up for her, maybe, punch the people in the face, literally, for them doing that. That's literally bullying. I've had people storm out of a room just because I said, hey, do you mind not doing that? Because it's kind of hurting me. And they literally do this and they leave out of the room because they get so frustrated. I wouldn't blame them. It is annoying when you say, hey, can you stop doing this? Can you stop doing this? And they're like, well, what can I do? And they have said that. And I know I shouldn't get really angry at them or at all because they don't understand. So of course they're going to get annoyed. They don't realize what it does to me. But at the same time, when you love your family member or when you love your friend, you should be understanding as much as you can. And you should stop doing the trigger. It's not that hard to literally stop clicking a pen, just do something else, But then they're gonna get annoyed and say, can I do this? Can I do that? Is that okay? Is that fine? I am now 21, but I've been at college for 2 years now, and it's very, very hard because a lot of people around me. I'm in a class for like 30, 50 kids or something. I can't literally yell across the room, "Hey, can you stop clicking your pen?" Because that would have all heads turn on me. They would look at me weird, say, "What's wrong with her? You know, why is the pen annoying her? Maybe I should do it to see how she react." That would literally kill me. It took years and years of training, and I'm still going through it, but I have adapted to things to help me bear the sounds and the visual triggers. It kind of sucks because half of my family's Italian, and they speak with their hands, like literally this, they talk with their hands. Or some of our family members are very active, so they can't sit still, so they're like crossing their legs and they're shaking or bouncing their foot up and down, or they're literally tapping on the table. Even eating hurts me. When you open your mouth, parting of the lips is very annoying. I can literally hear your lips parting, even speaking, or open your mouth to take a bite. Chewing, slurping, burping, eating, of that sort, and crunching, even breathing. I can't sleep in the same room as anybody else. I used to share a room with my sisters, but I literally begged my family to have my own room because her snoring and rustling of trying to get a comfortable position, I couldn't sleep at night. I literally was getting triggered when I was trying to get my own sleep. I had to move onto the couch, but even that is difficult because we have clocks. So I'm literally taking down every single clock there is in our whole entire house. And I have dogs that walk on the floor, and the clicking of the nails on hardwood floors is annoying. Them wagging their tails that's hitting a wall or something is very, very annoying as well. I remember I was in my parents' room, say, having a conversation, and I stop and I'm looking around. What is that ticking noise? And I literally open a drawer, and buried underneath layers of clothes is a pocket watch. Are you kidding me? Why can I hear that under buried clothes in a drawer on the other side of the bedroom? And I literally had to take that thing out of the room, literally on the farthest side of the house, just because I wanted to take a nap or continue a conversation or whatever. I literally need dead silence. Even if I'm alone in the house, I literally have to take clocks down. I have to put dogs outside. Even outside, I can hear certain birds, like mockingbirds, they won't shut up. There's gardeners, there's people working on the roof that's clicking and nailing things on, to hold the roof down. And I can't sleep, I can't do anything, I can't function. Every single noise puts me in that state of high anxiety and depression. I can't function or live the proper life that I wish I could. Helping my triggers is very difficult, but I have figured out a few ways. I used to have full-on Star Trek Vulcan bangs, like I'm talking like literally bangs, like the Beatles or something. And a lot of times it got annoying because people say, "I want to see your eyes," and they move my hair to the side, and I'm like, dude, I don't go over to you and flip your hair and stuff and mess with your part and stuff. That feels annoying and stuff. It's like brushing your hair on the opposite direction or something. But that's not why I changed my hairstyle. I say that because I don't want to get into a lot of details on my Miso, because I literally hate talking about this because it brings off bad memories and I start crying and get depressed. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be crying later, but I'm getting this video done as much as I can. I literally grew my bangs out on this side because when I'm in college, I am right-handed. So when I'm trying to write essays or whatever, I can literally write here and rest my arm by doing this if somebody's bouncing their foot or doing a visual. So I'm writing like this. But what's covering these triggers? So I literally grow my hair out, I do this, I block the view as much as possible, and I'm writing literally like this, where I can't see any triggers. Sometimes I have to do this, hair, and wear a hat, because the people in front of me are like flipping their hair, or they're, I can see through the chairs, through the legs and stuff, and they're rotating their foot in a certain way. Now, as far as blocking the visuals, I don't have as much difficulty because of those ways that I've developed, but I can still hear their pencils writing on the paper, their hand sliding to each word. I can hear the teacher writing on the chalkboard or the board, markers and stuff. I've even had a teacher where he had a lisp, and the S word, no, the letter S is literally a trigger. And I'm sorry if I'm triggering you guys now by talking, but I'm going to be talking about this letter, okay? Literally when somebody's talking like this, you know, that is a very bad trigger. So when I'm sleeping in my room and my parents are still up and stuff and they're watching TV, sure, the TV's loud and I can try to deal with that, but when it's at a certain volume and I can't hear what they're saying, I can only hear the S's. It's like literally somebody doing in my ear when I'm trying to sleep. I don't care how many doors I close, I can hear through all of them. I can hear probably through a locksmith's best, whatever. Like, can you guys please turn it down a little bit? And I try to say it as nicely as possible, but in the past, I was so scared of asking, hey, do you mind stop doing that noise? Or can you please stop doing that certain movement or something? I was literally so afraid of asking them because every time when I did, people would do this or say, can I breathe? They always do comments like that, or roll their eyes, or do some sarcastic, angry thing like that. And it literally crushed me. Like, see what I'm doing to my family? I'm annoying them. I'm such an annoyance. Why do I have to be here? You know, they would be so much happier if I wasn't here because I keep asking them to do this, to do that and stuff. I've literally had that thought. That's what literally led to my suicidal thoughts, because I thought I was such an annoyance, such a bother, and I'm like, if I wasn't here, they'd be so much happier because do you see how annoyed I'm making them? Do you see how angry I'm making them? I've literally had those thoughts pretty much on a daily basis in the past. When I didn't know what misophonia was, I was so angry. I was lashing out at them. I was screaming. I wasn't cussing because I knew that would get me into even more trouble. But I was literally yelling, screaming, almost to the point where I wanted to break something. But my tongue was so vile and poisonous to my family, and to see them getting really, really angry back and I'm putting them in that kind of a state. I remember one time sitting in the bathroom and I turned my hair straightener on because I knew my tongue was such a double-edged sword to my family that I was literally ready to pick it up when it was warm and burn my tongue, because if I couldn't speak, I couldn't put them in the state that I was putting in them now. Yeah, I'm too much of a coward to kill myself, and I really don't like saying it like that, but literally, when it's got that bad of triggers, I'm literally ready to just say, God, I'm sorry, I can't take this anymore. I want to be with you in paradise where I'm not suffering anymore. I know how much I need to be here, because then I wouldn't be able to share my story today. I knew I couldn't be able to find people like me to tell them it's going to be okay, you know? Another trigger will pass, it's going to happen again, you're going to feel depressed, you're going to be in this state again, but it's going to be over as soon as it's over, and then you just live your life as best you can until the next episode happens. I dread when the next episode happens, and I really don't look forward to it, but that's why I take it as a challenge to see how long I can live my life without having to cry or wanting to kill myself each day. The last time I was put in a misophonia state was probably maybe last week. I don't even remember what triggered me, and I try not to remember, because even when I think about certain sounds, even when I think about certain movements, I can literally trigger myself. I even remember one time when I was such in a depressive state that I locked myself in my room. I literally cried, went through the whole enchilada of crying, just make it stop, but it's got to the point where it was so bad where I was throwing myself on the edge of my bed, where there was like 2 wooden planks or something like normal beds have, trying to break my own rib, because I knew if I could switch my focus and my pain somewhere else that was almost as equally excruciating, then I wouldn't want to kill myself. Because if I broke a bone, it would be painful, but a mental pain always sends me into a state of depression and suicidal thoughts. When you break a rib or a bone or fracture or whatever, I know it's just pain and I can deal with that and stuff. It doesn't make me want to kill myself. The mental state and the physical state is such a fine line and such divided, where it's literally gotten me to the point where I want to switch to the physical side and hurt myself just to stay away from the mental and emotional side. I wanted to turn off my emotions so badly. I didn't want to feel anything mentally, emotionally. I wanted to pretty much be Raven from Teen Titans. She was like my idol, like, wow, do you see how she can turn off her emotions and not feel anything? I want to be just like her. But we're human. We can't turn off our emotions. I can't turn it off. And I just have to learn how to deal with it. I've come to accept that there probably will never be a cure for misophonia. And I've learned to accept that. It was hard. And I pray every day that they may come with a cure somehow, but how can you not hear anything? I remember wanting to purchase an air horn because Mom says, don't do that, don't blow it near your ears and stuff, that'll make you deaf. And when I heard that, when I heard her say that, don't do that next to your sister's ear, that can make her deaf. When I heard that, it gave me the idea, I can turn off my ears. I can literally turn off sounds. I literally wanted to purchase an air horn, put it next to my ear. I don't care if my ears were bleeding. I literally wanted to make myself deaf, because if I can't hear anything, I would rather read subtitles, do sign language for the rest of my life than having to want to kill myself with every sound I hear every single day. I have noise canceling headphones, and even though they help, they don't 100% work. I can still hear things. I literally was going to therapy and doctors, and they put me in a soundproof box to try to do certain tests or whatever, and I can hear outside that soundproof box. I can hear people walking by in heels, clicking their shoes. I can hear flip-flops. I can hear pretty much every sound imaginable that the normal person wouldn't even care to bother like glancing over, because it's such a normal thing or something. Some of my friends do understand. I've never talked about it to this full extent before, but they do know that certain sounds bother me, so if they do a certain sound, they say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want them to live in fear. When I say, hey, do you mind stop doing that because it's kind of triggering, please understand that this thing is real and it does bother someone. Even if you don't have misophonia, you should be courteous enough to stop anyway. But I can't even drive in a car without having to take the keychain off or whatever out the key, because when the car's moving, it's swaying with the movement. Know that everywhere I go, everything I listen to, everything I see is going to be painful. And as friends and as family, I beg you and ask you, please understand. If I ask you, can you please, stop doing that or something? Or, hey, can you put your foot down or stop tapping? Or, can you keep your hands, like that or something, and don't move them? And I mean, don't move them. Please understand that it's nothing against you personally. I don't hate you. I'm not annoyed with you, I'm annoyed with what you're doing. To a certain extent, I need you to understand, even though nobody without misophonia is going to understand what you're going through, what you're feeling, what you're truly feeling. Please understand, don't get angry at them. Try not to get angry at them. Don't hate them. Because understand, they don't understand. I'm going to be making a separate video with a few triggers visually and, hearing-wise, and show you a little taste of what I have to go through on a daily basis that put me in the state of depression and suicidal thoughts. Even the things that you're going to see, even if it's the smallest little trigger, like, oh my gosh, a spoon is rotating, or I just picked up the piece of meat and stuff, or whatever. The simplest things that you'll probably find stupid is what actually hurts me a lot. It may seem little, it may seem ridiculous, but honestly, this is what we as misophones go through on a daily basis, plus more. It's not going to even be half of the visuals, it's not going to be even half of the sounds. That's just a few. There's thousands everywhere, all day, every day, 24/7 that I have to go through. The visual and the hearing triggers, I'm going to be talking more about how you can prevent them, or at least help them, or things you can do to block, like I did with my hair and stuff. And I'm very grateful for my friends and my family who understands and who's been there for me for so many years. I can't tell you how much that I am grateful for my family, because I've never seen how much patience they have until this thing popped up in my life. And it's probably going to be here forever in my life, but I just have to know that everything's going to be okay, that I have a family who loves me, who wants to help me, and that no matter what happened in my past, no matter what people did to make me feel like I don't want to be here anymore, I have to forgive the past to give my future another chance. So I know this is going to be very hard to live with, and especially I didn't even know how I was going to date, how I was going to marry. When a boyfriend or a husband loves you so much, they should understand that they should help you, You're a team, you're partners, and no matter what, you should be there for you, or she, if you're a dude, and they should love you so much that, okay, I'll stop, I'm sorry, and they should cope with you. When somebody loves you so much, they will understand, and they'll hopefully go the extra mile to stop doing what they're doing, because they love you. I am planning on writing a book, getting more in depth with my story, with personal stories, personal moments, and things that helped me over the years. And I was subscribed to this medicine that's actually helped me so much that I don't have triggers as much anymore. You can message me if you want, I can tell you about the medicine, but please talk to your doctor first before you buy it yourself, because it does have some side effects. It does get me dehydrated, it gets me tired, and sometimes the side effects can be worse at times, but please talk to your doctor. But I'm writing a book, so I've decided to name it Misophonia, Life as It Sounds. And I don't know why I chose that, but the title just sounded right. Another day is going to come, and you need a little rain to have a rainbow. It's going to be hard, it's going to continue being hard, but I'm going to write my book, I'm going to share my story, and please encourage you to share this video with friends that you know, with websites, Facebook, whatever. Please share it with everybody you know, because this condition is real. It's a thing. It's going around. It's not a disease. You can't spread it around. It happens. And unfortunately, I'm one of the people who it chose. Hopefully, if I told my story correctly and it's like, wow, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what happened to me. Share it with your family, because hopefully my explanation actually helps people understand what misophonia is. But we're all in this together, and we as human beings are family and friends, and strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. So if I ask someone, hey, can you stop doing that? I don't know you, but, hey, you know, we gotta work together on this. I don't consider it a blessing. I don't consider it a superpower. I once called it a curse, but I am grateful for anything that it's deemed useful, I guess. Other than that, I don't want this. I wouldn't have chosen this. I wouldn't have placed this on anybody, even my worst enemies or whatever. But we gotta know that we're in this together, and we gotta be there for each other, no matter what. And my name's Patricia, and this is my story of Misophonia, life as it sounds.